Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Weaver. Today we're talking about New Year plans and how to talk about them in English. We'll take it step by step to keep your English practice simple, enjoyable, and easy to follow. Hello. I am so excited about today's topic. It's always fun to look forward.
It's great to be here, and I totally agree. How are you feeling as the year wraps up?
I'm doing well, a little busy, but full of that pre-New Year energy.
It's the best time for fresh starts, right? I love this conversation. It feels so full of potential.
It really does. Before we dive in, please remember to subscribe, like, and share the show if you enjoy our chat.
It really helps us keep these conversations going. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much to everyone. Okay, so let's get into it. When you think about the new year, do you have like a big theme or an overarching idea for yourself?
That's a great way to put it. I do, actually. This year, my primary goal, or I guess the major resolution, is all about mindfulness and intentional living.
Ooh, mindfulness, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And a really popular one.
It is, but for me, it feels really necessary.
Yeah.
Last year, I was just constantly reacting, reacting to emails, to deadlines, to everything. I never felt like I was actually choosing how to spend my time.
I completely understand that feeling, like you're just being pulled in a million different directions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this year, the theme is about getting some of that control back, just being present and making deliberate choices. It feels like I really need to shift from just reacting all the time to actually responding thoughtfully.
Why mindfulness specifically, though? I mean, a lot of people go for really measurable things like running a marathon or saving a certain amount of money. Yours feels more internal.
It is, and that's the point, I think. To be honest, I kind of hit a wall with burnout last year. I didn't even realize how bad it was until I was on holiday and finally relaxed.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so focused on productivity, on doing more, and I thought that meant I was being successful, but it just led to this constant low-level anxiety. I was always feeling like I was behind, even when I was getting a lot done.
That sounds exhausting. So you'd be in a conversation, but your mind would already be on the next three things you had to do.
You've nailed it. That's exactly it. So mindfulness for me is like a tool to break that habit. It's about prioritizing the quality of my focus, not just the amount of stuff I can get through. I sort of learned the hard way that a goal isn't worth it if you destroy your own peace of mind to get there.
That is such a powerful lesson to learn.
Yeah.
So how do you actually do that? Like, be more mindful can be so vague. How do you make that a real day-to-day thing?
That's the challenge, isn't it? It can fail so easily. So I've had to make it really concrete. For me, it looks like this. When I wake up, I will not check my phone for the first hour. No exception.
An entire hour. That's impressive.
It's going to be hard, but it creates this protected space in the morning before the world rushes in. And another rule is no work talk after 7 p.m. Last year, the line between work and home just completely vanished. These are just small things, small barriers to protect my mental space.
I love that. It's funny because your goal is sort of about removing things, taking things away. Mine is the complete opposite. It's very much about adding something.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
My main resolution is to learn a new technical skill.
Hmm.
I want to learn the basics of Python programming.
Wow, okay. That is a big one. And definitely outside your usual comfort zone.
Totally. I've always seen coding and techie stuff as this other world that I just couldn't access. So my goal is really to break down that mental barrier I have about it. It feels exciting, but also, honestly, pretty nerve-wracking.
I can imagine. Learning to code is ambitious. But I have to ask, I remember you tried to learn the guitar a while back.
Oh no, don't remind me. Yes, the failed guitar experiment.
I'm only bringing it up because is there a risk you're doing the same thing here, just jumping into something really complex and getting frustrated? I mean, failure often comes from that gap between where you are and where you want to be, right?
That is a very fair question.
Yeah.
And yes, the guitar failure is burned into my memory. I approached it with these random bursts of energy. I'd practice when I felt motivated, and then I wouldn't touch it for weeks.
And the motivation disappears pretty quickly then.
It vanishes.
Hmm.
So this time, I'm trying to be smarter. I know that learning something like Python requires consistent, structured work, not just feeling excited about it. The excitement comes from thinking about what I could do with it, like automating some boring data tasks we have at work. But I'm nervous because I know I have to really commit to get through that initial difficult phase.
Okay, so what's the plan? How are you going to fit that into your schedule? And have you, already bought a book or signed up for a course.
Yes, a plan is in place. I found a structured online course. It's all about project-based learning. And my target is to be able to use it for a real task. I want to be able to automate my monthly budget spreadsheet. That would save me hours of boring work.
See, having a specific practical goal like that is so smart. It's not just learn to code, it's learn to code to solve this problem.
Exactly. And instead of just scrolling on my phone for an hour before bed, that's now my protected coding time.
Yeah.
I also bought a huge notebook. I read somewhere that physically writing things down helps you remember complex stuff, which I definitely need for this.
That's a great idea. It makes it a real physical thing, not just another tab open on your computer. But what's the immediate reward? The budget thing is a great long-term goal, but what's going to keep you going next week when you're stuck on some error message that makes no sense?
The immediate reward is just making something work, anything. I want to successfully write a tiny, silly little program that just prints some text on the screen.
Like a hello world kind of thing.
Exactly. Just seeing that little thing run, knowing that I built it, that'll be the first big confidence boost. It'll prove that the hours of frustration were worth something, you know?
That makes perfect sense. That first little win is so important. Okay, so let's shift from the big goals to the tiny habits, because that's where it all happens, right? In those small daily actions. For your coding goal, what's the smallest possible thing you plan to do every day?
Okay, so this is my big lesson from the guitar disaster. Consistency over everything.
Mm.
So the smallest habit is 30 minutes of focused practice before I even have my morning coffee.
Before coffee. You're serious about this.
I have to be. I'm trying that thing. What's it called? Habit stacking. I'm attaching the new habit, coding, to an existing one, making coffee. It happens before the reward. That way I can't use willpower as an excuse later in the day when I'm tired.
That is brilliant. You're protecting that time. Because if you leave it until the evening, something always comes up. Life just gets in the way.
100%. That 30 minutes has to be sacred. So what about for your mindfulness goal? What's the one small concrete thing you're going to do every day?
My concrete habit is journaling. A daily journaling and gratitude practice for 15 minutes right after dinner.
Oh, I've tried that before. It's so hard to stick with.
Well, my mistake last year was trying to do it right before bed. I'd just end up scribbling about how tired I was and fall asleep. It wasn't useful at all. This time is different. After dinner, I have more energy, and it's structured. I write down 3 emotions I felt during the day, good or bad, and 3 specific things I'm grateful for.
I like the idea of writing down emotions, not just events. It forces you to actually check in with yourself.
Exactly. It's a way to process the day so all those feelings aren't just swirling around in my head when I'm trying to sleep.
Do you use a physical journal or an app for that kind of thing?
I tried an app once, but I just got distracted by notifications. It was a total failure.
Me too. The app was the problem. The tool was fighting the goal. So this year, it's strictly a physical journal. I've even made a little ritual out of it. I have a specific, nice notebook, a good pen, and I sit in a comfy chair that isn't my work chair.
You're creating a whole environment for it. I have to. It makes the habit feel like a nice, rewarding thing, not a chore. And I've told my family that those 15 minutes after dinner are my quiet time. Setting that boundary is key.
That might be the hardest part, but it's so important. Okay, let's pivot. We can't just talk about serious self-improvement. Life needs balance. What about the fun stuff? Any travel plans or just, non-serious goals for the new year?
Oh, absolutely. That balance is essential. My big, fun plan is to finally visit Yellowstone National Park.
Oh, wow. I am so jealous. That's been on my list forever.
It's been on mine too. I just feel like I need a huge dose of nature and awe. I want to see something massive and wild to kind of reset my perspective after staring at a screen for a year.
That sounds like the perfect antidote to burnout. Have you started planning it? Or is it still just a dream?
It's becoming real. I'm aiming for late summer, maybe August, to try and miss the worst of the crowds but still have good weather. And I've already started a separate savings account for it. I have an automatic transfer set up every week.
That's the way to do it. Once the money starts moving, it feels real.
Yeah, it really does. It puts a bit of healthy pressure on to actually follow through.
Are you going by yourself for some quiet reflection, or are you dragging a friend along?
I'm definitely bringing someone. I learned that solo travel, for me, can be more stressful than relaxing because I get so worried about logistics and navigation.
I've had that experience, getting lost and ending up eating bad gas station food for 3 days.
Yes, exactly that. It was not relaxing. So this time I'm recruiting my cousin. He's amazing at planning and navigating, which means I can just focus on the actual experience of being there. I'm outsourcing the stressful parts.
That is a very smart way to manage a goal. Know your weaknesses. My non-serious goals are a little more home-based. I have two. First, I want to read 50 novels this year.
50! That's almost one a week. That's a serious commitment.
It is, but I need an escape. Last year was all nonfiction and research. This year I want pure, imaginative fun. I'm planning to dive into a lot of magical realism and historical fiction, just something to transport me completely out of the present day.
I love that. And what's the second goal?
The second is to successfully make 10 new, really complex recipes from scratch.
Ooh, complex recipes. Why not easy ones? That sounds like you're setting yourself up for some potential kitchen disasters.
That's kind of the point. My cooking attempts last year were always rushed, and they were always a mess. I want to try things that force me to be patient and precise, like French pastries or something. You can't be distracted when you're doing that. It's like active mindfulness, but with a delicious result. Hopefully.
How are you going to keep track of all that? The books and the baking.
For the books, I'm using an app just to track the number, which makes it feel a bit like a game. But I'm still reading physical books. For the recipes, I'm starting a photo diary. I'm going to take a picture of everything, even the failures, and write down what went wrong.
A failure diary, so the mistakes become data instead of just being discouraging.
Exactly. It's about learning from what went wrong. Which brings me to the big topic, failure. Resolutions fail all the time. Thinking back, what was your most useful failure from last year?
Oh, that's easy. The plan to learn Spanish. It was a complete and spectacular failure.
What happened? You started out so strong.
I did. I bought all the books, all the apps. I planned to study for 45 minutes every single night, and I did for about 3 weeks. But then one night I was just too tired, so I skipped it. And that one missed day made me feel like the whole project was ruined.
The classic all or nothing thinking. If it's not perfect, it's a total failure.
It's textbook case. I just gave up completely after that. I learned that consistency and forgiving yourself are so much more important than trying to be perfect. If I miss a day of journaling this year, the plan is just to start again the next day, no drama.
That's such a key lesson. My big failure was attempting to become a minimalist.
Oh no, how did that go?
It was chaos, absolute chaos. I tried to do my entire apartment in one weekend. I pulled everything out of every closet and just created this mountain of stuff in my living room.
I can just picture it. Instant regret.
Instant and overwhelming. I was paralyzed. I had no system for what to keep, what to donate, what to throw away. It was so stressful that after 2 days of staring at the mess, I just shoved it all back into the closets.
So you ended up with closets that were even more disorganized than when you started.
Way more disorganized. It was a disaster. The lesson was that I need a system. A slow, step-by-step process, not a crazy weekend purge.
So how are you going to handle setbacks this year with that knowledge? Like when you inevitably get stuck on a coding problem for 3 days straight?
I actually have a rule for that. A failure plan. If I spend more than 15 minutes stuck on the same problem, I have to step away from the computer, write down the problem in my notebook, and post a question about it on a forum. No more staring at the screen for hours getting frustrated.
That is such a good protocol.
Yeah,
It forces you to stop before you burn out.
I hope so. And for the reading goal, I'm building in flexibility. If I get to June and I'm way behind on my 50 books, I'll just change the number. The goal is to enjoy reading, not to hit some arbitrary metric. The plan has to serve me, not the other way around.
That's the biggest takeaway, isn't it? The resolution should be a compass that guides you, not a chain that you're stuck with. It's about showing up most days and just building a better foundation.
Exactly.
Yep.
Just having this conversation, making a real plan, that already feels like a kind of success.
It does. It's interesting just thinking about the language we use. We often say, I'm going to do something.
Yeah, it sounds so definite, doesn't it?
It does. But I plan to, or I'm aiming to, maybe feels a little more forgiving. It leaves room for life to happen. It's just a small thing, but maybe it helps with that all or nothing mindset we were talking about.
That's a really great point. It frames it as a journey, not just a destination you either reach or you don't.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for sharing your plans. I'm feeling very inspired now.
Me too. And to everyone listening, we would love to hear about your plans for the new year. Feel free to leave a comment and share what you're excited about.
Yes, please do. And remember that practicing a little bit of English every day, just like with any new habit, is the key to making progress.
That's so true. Thank you all so much for joining today's conversation. We'll be back soon with more. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you found this chat useful.
We really appreciate all of your support.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye for now, and goodbye to you too.